Hi, nobodies. So I am feeling worse. The day has taken a turn. Yeah. I knew I was gonna start feeling worse. I mean, that was just gonna happen. I think I did my cross stitch, but my eyes are getting old, and the little magnifying lamp thing just was not working for me. I was like, this is not right. um, Reached out to a couple of people today. My son has learned to text, so that's lovely. He's actually pretty polite about it. Um, I'm cold. That's why. That's why I got something on my head, and I got my robe on because I'm cold. And well, not just the cold. Like I could have put on a hat, but like my the wind moving my hair seems to yeah, that's aggravating. This thing is aggravating. I mean, I haven't messed with it for a while. Um, it's been a long ass day, and I looked at the time thinking I'm gonna go to sleep. It's too fucking early to go to sleep. Ugh. Um, yeah. This always reminds me of, for the longest time I wore a hijab. So whenever I put this thing on my head, which can do so many things, which earlier today it was a mask because I didn't want to get my aunt sick. I had to make sure I wasn't like touching anything or breathing on her. I don't want to get her sick. Talked to somebody I was around all weekend. Said I hope you don't get sick because I don't want anybody getting sick with anything. But it has been like a super boring day. And the cats have been hanging out with me all day because they've been waiting for what I say is like their daily pate. If I give it to them when I first get up, I mean, it's bad enough they expect me to do it first thing in the morning, but I thought that I would do that for them every morning. And I was like, no, those little fuckers will come to me at 4 a.m. like, it's time to get up and give us our pate. So I give it to them in the afternoon. But as it turns out, giving it to them in the evening, they just hang all over me all day. So that's always fun. I mean, I like my cats. Don't get me wrong. I do. But if every time I move my head, I'm hearing, or I'm having to account for the fact that Lexi's behind my head, or move my foot and Polly decides that he's going to attack it like it's one of his toy mice. That little fucker. Yeah, Polly's a trip. I'm still not at the stage where vaping sucks. Maybe I should quit. That's what I've been told. But you know what? I like vaping. Just like I liked smoking. And I told my ex today that I quit smoking because, well, he was thanking me for getting him to quit smoking and start vaping. And I was like, don't thank me, because I did that so that the guy I liked might talk, if he talked to me, I didn't want to smell like a cigarette. I didn't want to talk to the guy, but I didn't want to not talk to the weird thing, and it's hard for me to talk about. that I was obsessed with someone that I would see daily. And I did not approach this person. I wouldn't even look this person in the eye. Um, but I was obsessed. And, I started working out. I put down cigarettes and started vaping so I wouldn't smell like cigarettes. I started paying attention to my appearance more. And we were talking about things. He said, well, you should have talked to me. You should have talked to me and then, told me what I needed to do. And I'm like, that's not really fair to heap on somebody. Like the bitch boy debacle. That guy built me up so much. And then when I was there, that just all disappeared. It was gone. And all of a sudden, like everything about me that I let him see, he wanted to change. You know, it was, you need to work out. You need to do this. You need to stop vaping. You need to eat better. You need to get a job. You need to get this going, get that going, tone up those arms, work those glutes, tone this up, tone that up, stop doing this, start doing that. And the thing is when you're telling somebody to do all these things and they do them, it doesn't matter. I mean, a person can wear themselves out trying to be who you want them to be. And who am I to put that on somebody? To say, hey, you've got to be this way. I mean, a tweak here or there to push somebody in the right direction, wives do that all the time. Lots of, like when they say a man gets domesticated, there's certain things that they didn't do before they got married, that they do and they continue to do after they've been in a long-term relationship where they've lived with a woman. But, those are little tweaks. And when it comes down to you saying, hey, I want you to not only like say, I want you to read about this subject and get educated about this. And if that's something that they're not interested in, awesome job that they go and do it. That they do this for you, but what are you doing for them? Are you doing something that, are you studying something that you don't want to study because they want to be able to discuss that with you? And then it gets into the whole thing about, well, why do I always have to suggest something? Why don't you do your own research? Why don't you find something that I find interesting that you can talk to me, you can educate me about? I mean, that's not the kind of thing you can teach somebody to be. To say, hey, step out of being who you are, and instead of being this solid country boy, good old boy, solid guy, to being an egghead. That's two different kinds of people. I mean, those two can exist in a person. A guy can be a meathead and an egghead. But it's rare. It's not, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's rare that, a person who is constantly working on their body doesn't have a lot of time to constantly be working on their mind. So the eggheads are typically going to be doughy. There are exceptions to the rule, because there are people who are really concerned about their body image and stuff. But to put that on somebody, to say, hey, I want you to be all these things that you're not, that person's never going to be happy with you. You're never going to be enough, and that's not on you. Because, I mean, we can try. I can try all day long to be what somebody wants me to be, but that's not me. That's me playing a role, and that's fine and dandy for a little while. That's great for a little while. But eventually, you get tired of being this person you're not, doing these things, like I said, like actors, if they've got to be all buff and shit, they will go and work out like 10 hours a day or more to get cut for a film. They'll lose weight, they'll gain weight, they put their bodies through hell for these things, but they only have to play the role for a while and they get accolades for it. We don't get that in real life. We get, you conform to this idea, and if you're lucky, the ideal you're conforming to is the idea of yourself. But a lot of us conform to the ideas that everyone else wants us to have. And you can maintain that for a while. But eventually you start noticing what's left of me. And then you start feeling like, why did I change everything? Why did I try to change everything about myself? Why did I put this stuff down? Because this person didn't like it, because that person didn't like it, but I liked it. So why did I put it down? And when you get to that point in your life, it sucks. Because you're like, I've made myself miserable. And it's not that other person's fault because they want you to be a certain way. You choose to either go with the flow or swim against the current. We all make that decision in every decision we make. What's the easy way? And, it was never part of my plan to tell somebody, hey, this is what I need, and I need you to provide it. All of it. Every last bit of it. I know. God couldn't do it. God couldn't put all of that in one person. But here I am expecting you to do it. See, it's one thing if I expect that of myself. The way my brain works, the stuff I do, I want everything to be perfect. And, I don't expect perfection out of everyone else. I do look for it, and I do notice when it's not there. I can't help myself. But I don't hold people accountable for, well, this isn't perfect. I hold myself to that standard. So it never occurred to me to tell somebody, hey, this is what I need. So I need you to get completely out of your comfort zone and change for me. Like, do this thing that you've never done before, like just study this subject that you have absolutely no interest in. And the thing is, women do it all the time. And men do it to a degree. But like when you see some women genuinely like football, but most women get into football because they don't want to feel, they'll go in there and they'll say like, well, what's going on? And then they'll get into it. But they start studying it because they want to be able to talk with their fella about things that he enjoys. They want to be a part of what he enjoys. So they conform. They try to find ways to like that. And guys will do that too, to a degree. They won't go too far out, like most of the time. Like, they're not going to research ballet. Most of the time, they just throw money at us. And most women are like, okay, I'll go get my nails done, get my hair done, do this, do that, you know. And I have tried to like football. I have tried to give a shit about basketball. I really have. Football and basketball, just not my thing. And I've tried to like them. I've tried to pay attention. I've tried to get into it. And it's just not me. So when I think of telling somebody, hey, you know, read this philosopher, you know, or study this subject, for them, that could be like them saying, love football. How am I supposed to love football? I don't. I don't love it. I don't even like it. You know, so, but if they were like, hey, read this book of stats and I'm going to quiz you on it later, you know, I'm going to fucking read that book and I'm going to memorize those stats. Because that kind of is my jam, but it's going to be hard. And I'm going to be miserable about it because it's not what I want to pursue. And like I said, I cannot put that on somebody else. I can't do it. I won't. You know, getting somebody to stop doing something or to start doing something, you know, those things can be accomplished. But getting them to be interested in what you're interested in and getting them to be motivated as you're motivated, I mean, you can help. You can help get them excited about something. You can help by knowing them well enough to know, hey, what's going to get their ass in gear. But you also have to know, like, how much of in gear are we talking? You know, is this person going to wear me out? Or is their ass in gear only worth like about 2 minutes of work time? So I've got to go, okay, let's wait till there's like 2 minutes of good solid work here before I go get him in gear. Because I want him to do the shit that I can't do or that I have trouble doing. So if I'm going to get 2 minutes, if my ex is watching this, I will say painting the bathroom. Painting the bathroom. You know, getting them motivated to do stuff, it's kind of like, you know, just if you're only going to be in there for like 2 minutes doing work, let me choose which 2 minutes it is. Because otherwise I'm going to get pissed that you come in there and go, oh, it's too smoky in here. There's too much dust. I have to go get high. I make jokes about that. But, you know, that's how I saw it. He would tell you, oh, I did the whole bathroom. We painted it. No. I was in there inhaling for the most part. I was not smoking weed at the time. But, you know, like I said, you have to kind of figure out how much can I get out of this person when I've got them motivated, and what's it going to take to motivate them to do this particular thing. And that takes genuinely being observant of who they are. You know, if you expect too much out of somebody all the time, you're going to wear them out. And if you know that getting their ass in gear will leave you being exhausted, you just might be like, hey, dude, you know, we're not doing anything today. You know, like, we're going to do this small thing. You know, you just make sure you start projects when they're not there. Because I've been around a few of those that just, like, instantly motivated and like, woo! It's like, no, we are not going that. We are doing this simple thing. We are not doing all this extra stuff. This 5-hour project should take 5 hours. Do not turn it into a 16-hour project. Please. We don't have to get fancy. You know, Sometimes, but, and then, like I said, other times you got somebody who you're like, oh God, we're never gonna be fucking done. Because they keep taking breaks. I have a timeline for things. And to a lot of people, my life might seem like it's the things that I do in a day are just random things that I throw together. Or just random ideas that I'm just like flying by the seat of my pants. But actually, everything is thought out, believe it or not. Every moment of my day is planned. The moment I wake up, boom, it's in place. This is what I'm going to do today. This is what I'm going to get done today. This is how long this is going to take. This is how long that's going to take. And of course, I allow for variables of person might come by, I might get a phone call, I might have to go do something, I might have this happen or that happen. It is not a quiet place in there. Never quiet. Which is why, you know, I can't, I don't think anybody could be everything that I need them to be. I really don't. I mean, part of me says, you don't ask for much. You really don't. You know, like, I'll list all these things that I want, you know? And it's like, that's not really asking for much. You know, you're setting the bar kind of low, Ann. But then when I get to really ticking it off, I'm like, do I really need these two things together? You know, and then it's like, no, this is going to be two different people. It's got to be. This has got to be 2 or 3 different people. That's too much to ask of one person. You know, like, I can't, I don't see it. It's like, if I put everybody together that I've ever dated, they would make the perfect person. And granted, it would be fun to pick out all the bad stuff and go, okay, we're taking this away because that fucking sucked. We're taking this away because that fucking sucked. We're going to keep this, keep this, keep this, keep this. And, you know, even if I did get to, like, hand pick, you know, and, like, do the whole God thing and create, you know, build a dude, he probably wouldn't be what I need, because he would be missing that essence of asshole that girls never admit to wanting, yet we always seem to go for. You know, there's like a certain level of asshole that a dude has to be. You know, we all say we want a nice guy, but there has to be a certain, you know, just a touch of asshole. Too much, you know, just like bitch. Too much of it, and it's a bad deal. Too little of it, and you've got a doormat. And apparently people, they either don't like dating doormats or they want to walk all over them. So, but I better go now, because I could talk about this forever, and I totally fucking would. But I'm going to go now, and I'm going to get a bath and hope that it's dark, and then I can fucking go to bed. You know, and say, hey, it's time. That's what today's been, a whole, well, it's daylight out, so I have to go to bed. I mean, I have to stay up, and I tried to take a nap. That ended up being something different. I couldn't sleep. So, I got today going. Aside from being sick, I've had a good day. I hope that you've had a good day. If you haven't, every moment is an opportunity to turn things around. You know, make it so. If all you get to say about today is, I took a nice hot bath, or I stood in the shower and let the water hit me, or I turned on the oven, and then when it was done, I like opened it and let the heat just envelop me. Sometimes that's kind of like, not orgasmic as in like having an orgasm, but like pretty damn close to it. When that hot air from the oven just hits you and you're cold and you're just like, just envelops you. It's like a whole thing. Anyway, bye.